nation goddess NNG. Find just what you see. 8 frequencies of elevation. Reach your highest frequency. She's serving healing and education. Uplifting and motivating. Yeah. NNG. New nation goddess. Hey, yo, check this. You are now tuned in to the Transcend with NNG podcast with your host, Brittany Walker. New episodes on Wealth and Wellness Wednesdays.
Hey, happy Wealth and Wellness Wednesdays. You have made it to season 3, episode 3 of the Transcend with NNG podcast, where I am your host, Brittany Walker, also known as New Nation Goddess. So for today, on Wednesday, May 17th, we're going to be deep diving into the second frequency of elevation, which is Metaphysical Methods, and just determining shifting your mind to develop new routines. So, we always like to kick off each episode with an I am power statement. Now, before we get started, I do want to apologize in advance. My landscapers decided that they wanted to come in the middle of while I was recording. So if there is noise in the background, I'm going to try my best to reduce it. So again, I'm apologizing in advance. But the I am power statement, I representing inspiration, A representing affirmation, and M representing manifestation. The I am power statement is I am open to shifting my mindset in order to elevate to my highest self. Ashe. The book of the day and the reference of the day that we're going to give is My Grandmother's Hands. It is the Racialized Trauma and the Pathway to Mending our Hearts and Bodies by Resmaa Menakem. Guys, when I say, you see, it's got all these tabs. Like, this is a really good book. This is something that I recommend when you're in the process of elevating and transcending and learning how to heal. This might align better with the 8 frequency of elevation, optimal wellness, but I think it is essential when you start tapping into metaphysical methods, because one of the options for that is breath work, and there's a lot of breath work practices throughout this book. So again, for those of you who can see on Spotify and YouTube, My Grandmother's Hands. If you're not looking at the video, I will be adding this book to the description of our episode. So a very good book, again, with learning how to use alternative methods to manifest the life that you deserve and to really become your best self. Now, the tea of the day, guys, we are sipping on our cramp elixir made by Kick Cramps Ass, my other organization that advocates for menstrual equity, combats period poverty, and assisting you with achieving optimal womb wellness. So with this, you see we have a chrysocolla tea infuser with the tea on the inside, and you can see our package of our cramp elixir here. So I will add the description on how you can purchase this tea. And if you subscribe to our website at kickcrampsass.org, you will get a discount on your first purchase. So moving forward, what are we going to be discussing today? We're going to be talking about how you can truly shift your mind in order to develop new routines. Now, if you notice that you've been wanting to elevate, you've been wanting to grow, you've been wanting to move, but you're staying stagnant, you're feeling a little bit comfortable, it could be that the routines that you have become so comfortable with no longer work for you. So at this point, you need to do a reevaluation. You need to evaluate and analyze what's working and what's not working. So let's talk about that. What is your current process? What's working? What's not working? If you find something that works that is actually helping you progress, then hold on to that. But if it's factors that are not helping you progress, let those things go so you can make room for things that it's going to actually help you to progress. So just take some time, I would say 3 to 5 minutes, and just sit and think about what is working for you, or what do you even want more of? Because you might want something and you are ready to manifest it, but the universe is not delivering it to you because you already have enough on your plate. And it could be that you have enough of invaluable things on your plate. So you need to learn how to differentiate those things, let go of those things, whether they're people, places, or things, people that you truly care about, things that you feel like you have to have in your life. you need to take time to evaluate what is really bringing progression, positivity, and peace into your life. Take control back of your life. You have full control. You have full control, whether you believe it or not, because it starts right here in the brain. What's right here? That third eye, that crown. It is important that you are the sole owner of your life, your mind, your heart, your body. You have control. Do what the necessary techniques that will really help you. Not saying that you're on social media and you're seeing what works for other people, not saying that you heard through the grapevine that this may work. You really need to take time and make yourself a priority and invest in yourself. If you don't find time during the week because you find yourself busy with work, school, running a business, take some time on the weekend, do some self-care Saturday and self-care Sunday, and really hone in on what is going to really help you go to the next level. It might be that you don't know what's going to help you, but you know what you want to do. At least write that out, because that is a basis, that is a foundation to start working towards a plan of action of what's really going to help you shift your mindset. Okay? Take the time that and realize that even if the processes are non-traditional or new to you, that's okay. It might be that your family was not privy to certain information. They weren't educated on different processes. You might even come from a family or from friends that might ridicule you or make fun of you for trying something new. That has nothing to do with you. Do not allow others to hinder your process, because you might be that very person in your family that's breaking the barriers, that's setting things apart, that's trying to figure out what's going to work for you. All right. So don't get scared or don't deter away from the mission at hand, because at this point this becomes a mission. It is a goal. It is something that you want to accomplish for yourself. Look at yourself as a business. Normally when you have a mission statements are for businesses, but you can make a mission statement for yourself as well. You can hold yourself accountable and ensure that you are doing what's necessary to take yourself to the next level. Now, there are various forms of types of metaphysical methods. When people hear it, you will hear, especially if you're religious, that's not what you're supposed to do. That's not religious. That's not of God. All of these things that I am going to discuss are things that have been around for centuries, guys. And when I say centuries, hundreds and hundreds of years, that have really worked for others. Some of the most peaceful individuals that are wandering this lifetime in this realm practice these metaphysical methods on a daily basis. So different types of metaphysical methods. We have meditation. It is extremely important to learn how to meditate, to learn how to sit still and learn how to control the thoughts in your mind. You want to be able to release and have the power to release anything that is blocking your thought process. You want to release anything that's blocking any of your chakras. So your crown, your third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your sacral, your root. These are extremely important to keep those aligned, and meditation can help you with doing so. Meditation can help with anxiety. It can help with you making important decisions. It can even help you calm down and remove yourself from toxic and negative situations. If you find that you can't meditate on your own, or you don't want to read a self-help book, go to YouTube University. You can find a plethora. I mean, guys, there's so many different guided meditations that somebody can walk you through what you should be doing. You might just want to find music that works for you, that you can sit still at your house. So these things are extremely important. Crystal healing, as you can see, I have on crystals. It's my thing. It's something that I discovered that's part of my African history. So this is something that I decided to tap into. Yes, cleansing crystals healing crystals. I have crystals on my desk. I have crystals in my wallet. I have crystals all throughout my house. It is extremely important that you do research on your own on how crystals may help you. Now, some people don't believe in crystals, and that's perfectly fine. Do what works for you. I'm just giving you options on what has helped me and catapult me into the life that I really wanted. My peaceful lifestyle, my wealthy lifestyle. Crystals has been important. If you check out my company, Kick Cramps Ass, I have a bookmark that has crystals in it. I have a tea infuser that has a crystal inserted. It's important for me, and it may be important for you. I'm not forcing you to do it. I'm just asking you to do your research and see what works for you. A good starting spot with crystals is this book called Crystals for Healing. It's like a dictionary of different crystals and what they can do for you. But I feel like if once you've read this book and it's not giving you, if you're wanting more information after that, it will be wise to go to like a metaphysical store, a crystal shop, and speak to somebody that is educated on the crystal process. You could possibly go to, again, to YouTube University or Google individuals who are experts or knowledgeable on crystal healing and just research for yourself. I'm not saying that you definitely have to go do it, but just check into it and see what works for you. One of my favorite recommendations is shout out to Aaron Walker with Higher Alignment. We had him on our season 2 episode in regards to metaphysical methods. He is a great person to get started with. So at Higher Alignment is HIYER alignment. Okay, so check him out on Instagram and YouTube. He has because he is an actual certified metaphysical coach. He has so many different options that you could choose from that's on the list that I'm giving today, plus more. Herbal remedies. Herbalism is a part of our culture. Herbalism is embedded in our culture. I actually was just talking about, for instance, African American slave medicine. Herbalism goes back centuries, guys. Medical apartheid. They talk about when Western medicine was first formed, that the doctors were bashing the herbalists and the naturopathies because they were mad, because how could they figure out how to heal people without using medication and surgery? So what they were doing was having these people killed and hung and calling them witches and voodoo, but then they were turning around and using those holistic remedies for themselves and their families, but then was still pushing Western medicine to their patients. So that speaks volumes if the own doctor is not using Western medicine and they're using herbalism. Why? Because herbalism works. It does wonders. It has helped me heal so many different diseases. So I encourage you to do research on herbalism, guys. It is important. We even have this dictionary. For those of you, I am showing all of this on YouTube and Spotify. If you do not have access to the videos, I will put these resources in the description of the episode. I even have the handbook to African medicinal plants. So guys, this is literally like a dictionary, like the holy grail for herbalism. So herbal remedies are good. You see that I'm sipping on tea. Why? Because that tea helps you get rid of cramps, infertility, endometriosis, fibroids, things that are hindering our culture and hindering individuals that happen to still reside in the United States based off of the foods, the beverages, and the products that we happen to put in on our body. Herbal remedies really do work. So it's something that you may want to look into. So if you're not into tea, maybe looking into like tinctures or solves or other things that could be beneficial for you. For instance, shout out to Hempfinity, who was also on last season when we were talking about environmental awareness. I use a hemp solve that is like amazing, guys. Like if I work out too hard, if my knees and my wrists are hurting, especially if I had like a hardcore yoga session, put that solve on. When I say pain goes away in 10 minutes or less, and pain is gone for up to 8 to 10 hours at a time, this is amazing. And it's all from an herb. So, well, hemp is technically a seed, but you get my drift. Things that are coming from the ground things that you can grow that does not have chemicals and toxins into it will help you heal and move forward through your metaphysical journey. Sound healing, you'll hear sound bowls. Shout out to Janae Aiko. She sells sound bowls, but she also does albums like kid lullabies and things to help your children sleep at night. And it's all from sound healing. Um, you can go to meditations and yoga sessions where they do sound healing at. You can even go on YouTube, again, Google and YouTube University. You can look up sound healing videos, some that are for 5 minutes, some that are for an hour, some that go all day. This is great options to help increase your vibrations in your body. If you ever participated in sound healing, you literally feel the vibrations in your body igniting. It is such a tantalizing feeling, and I encourage you to indulge in it. And if you're listening to this and you're like, sound healing, I'm not into that. Well, you don't have to be. But what would it hurt to research it for yourself and see if it does work for you? Even if you don't want to tell people that you're doing it, it doesn't matter. It's not about anybody else. This is your life. So take time in the privacy of your own home to indulge and experiment with different metaphysical methods that works for you. All right. Breath work. Breath work is so important. You hear about breath work like in Lamaze class if you're pregnant and how to breathe correctly. But again, because breath work is healing, it is important to learn different forms of breath work. In the book that I mentioned, My Grandmother's Hands, there's so many different methods of breath work. One of my favorite ones that I do here at the house, or even I find myself, even if I've been out in traffic or driving here in Las Vegas, I thought people in Texas drive crazy. Nevada, speed limit could be 65. I naturally like to, forgive me, Lord, I naturally like to go 75 to 85 miles per hour. I have a natural foot. I say, hey, I'm born in 85, so my foot likes to naturally accelerate to 85. I could be going 75, 80 miles per hour, and I have people whipping by me going like 100, like it's nothing, like every single day, guys. But I find a lot of people that are irresponsible with their driving out here. So you will have people cut you off. You will have people not use signals. You will have people almost sideswipe you, getting on the freeway and not realizing that you're in their blind spot, because there's a lot of like yielding situations out here in Nevada that doesn't give you a sign that you're yielding into something. So that can cause road rage. That can cause you to get upset. Once I can get to a place that I can stop, even if I'm at a light, I could take time to do a breathing exercise, because you don't have to have your eyes closed to do it. I like to do, matter of fact, let's do one right now for an example. We're going to inhale for 7 seconds. So okay, you're going to hold it at the top for 5 seconds. And then exhale for 7 seconds. Inhale for 7, hold for 5, exhale for 7. Do that as many times necessary until you feel yourself calm, until you feel that you're back at peace, until you feel that you're grounded, because the goal is to remain grounded, to get back control of an emotion that is human, and it's okay to experience that emotion, but to make sure that you are not allowing that emotion to take over and hinder the rest of your day or whatever you may be doing at that moment. Check into different options for breath work. It is the truth. Next on our metaphysical method is Reiki or energy healing. A lot of people are scared about this because they think that it could be voodoo or witchcraft, but Reiki and energy healing has, again, been around for centuries, guys. You can go check Asian history. You could check African history. It is all up and through there. And when we say Asian, we could talk about the Oriental side. So Japanese, Korean, Thai, anything along those lines, Chinese. But then we also are talking about our what I like to call my darker brown Asian family brothers and sisters. So Indian, Iranian, Bangladesh, Dubai, things of that sort. You want to be mindful of, this is not a practice that was just made up. And it's not something that is evil. It is something to help you really remove unwanted and negative energies from the body. I mentioned earlier, you can have chakra alignment through meditation, but you can also do it through Reiki and energy healing. the first time I had my energy cleansed and healed by a professional. Um, because anytime after this incident that I tell you, I've actually done it on my own because I was so intrigued with the process that I discovered how to do it on my own. So I don't have to have anybody else help me to cleanse. And just giving myself that power that I know I can do it. But it was August of 2020, and I went to have a cleansing from somebody that is certified to do so, is also a midwife. And guys, when I say my heart chakra was blocked, and as we're going through the process, I felt fine in all the other areas. But when she literally placed her hand, it was only her hand, the palm of her hand. I'm laying down flat on the ground. She has her hand over my heart, and I literally started regurgitating. I literally started coughing. I literally started releasing that negative energy that had me blocked. At that time, I was going through a really, really rough marriage. I was really unhappy. So much shit was going on in corporate America. At that point, I was still in corporate America. So much shit was going on in corporate America because we had just switched from the pandemic, from being in person to working remotely. I also was, so at that time, I was a learning and development team lead through human resources for a corporation, a fintech company in Houston. And then I also was a biology professor part-time. I also was a chief operating officer of a nonprofit. I also was running a CMOS company. Also had domestication, was married, had to tend to my household. It was a lot going on. Both of my parents were diagnosed with cancer that year. Thyroid cancer for my mom, prostate cancer for my dad. My grandma, who suffers from Alzheimer's, was having issues at that point with transitioning and other issues that was happening in her body. It was just a lot going on, and I just felt like I was not getting the love and support that I needed from my relationship. A lot of my friends depended on me, where I was the go-to person, and I couldn't really depend on them. And I just had a lot going on, and that healing lifted all of that hurt and all of that anger and all of that frustration and all of that feeling not protected and not secure, and woe is me, why is this happening to my family, why is the world going through a pandemic? It was just so much going on. And when I started regurgitating, it made me nervous because I am not a person that gets sick, like nauseous and vomit a lot. And it was scary, but it was so cleansing. And literally, guys, when I got done with the regurgitation, I literally felt like I was maybe 10 pounds lighter. I want to use the example. I know this is probably a little off, but if you've ever watched the show P-Valley, especially the last season that premiered, again, this is May 2023. So I'm talking about sometime in 2022. I want to say that this might have been their third season. I'm not for sure. Don't quote me. Whatever the last season was as of today's date, there was a scene where is it Diamond, if I remember correctly, the who works the door at P-Valley, the actual security guy. He always has an obsidian with him. You know, you see him with his crystals on. But it was when Mercedes had fell off of the pole and she injured her shoulder. But he did Reiki healing on her. He did energy healing on her, and he healed her. And most people saw that and got scared. But guys, like I told you, I'm from Texas, Louisiana. Like Louisiana, that's nothing. That's nothing. And I know there are a lot of people that actually do voodoo in Louisiana, but it's a lot of people that do energy healing, and they're mistaken for witches or doing Wiccan or doing voodoo or doing something that some people could see like as black magic or evil or something along those lines. But this is a real thing, and I've experienced it. And since then, I have not had the regurgitation situation, but I have noticed that if I'm a little off, or things are not going right, I would do a energy healing and a chakra realignment, and I get back into that positive, optimistic state of being, that peaceful state of being. So it is important to look into these things and see what works for you. And energy healing, guys, it doesn't even have to be all about just you. It could be the people that you're keeping in your area. It could be the person that you're even having intercourse with. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you get out of a bad relationship, somebody that was consistently cheating on you, verbally or physically abusing you, and you were with them for years and years and years, all that energy is stored up inside of you. So you need to release those things. And those are things that people don't think about. If you want to look at it from a religious standpoint, when a Christian or a Catholic or a Muslim, when they want to release and relieve certain things, they go through a ritual, they go through a process. There is words, scriptures that are said, chants that are said, mantras that are said. There are things that they do that are actual rituals, whether people want to believe it or not. Just like your birthday, when you blow out your candles and they chant happy birthday, that is a ritual, whether you want to believe it or not. So when people want to frown upon metaphysical methods, you got to look at society and things that we find normal that are actual rituals. So what's wrong with having a ritual with cleansing your energy? Your energy is everything. Your vibration and your frequency is everything. You have to stay on top of these things. And the next metaphysical method, I apologize, guys, that I keep sniffling and touching my nose. I don't know why it's so chilly in here. Let me get my little sanitizer on. Safety first. Sanitation and hygienic practices first. We mentioned chakra alignment already. I've said it a couple of times, but it is the next metaphysical method. Some people think energy healing and chakra alignment is the same thing, and it's slightly different. You could use energy healing to realign your chakras. So just remember that you can realign your chakras with crystals. You could do it through meditation. There are various forms that you could do it. I find a good realignment in my case is going to the elements. And when I say that, elements meaning water, earth, air, fire. I like to look at myself as the fifth element. Yes, I love that movie, but I look at myself as the fifth element. So I like to go to the beach where I could put my foot on earth in sand. I can feel the water from the ocean. The water is one of the most powerful sources in the world. It's so powerful, guys. Water comes, if you just research the power water with energy healing or frequencies, you're going to discover so much information that you were not privy to. Water is powerful. Shout out to Oshun. Yes. Shout out to the African goddess, Orisha Oshun. Oshun means ocean, guys. Peep it. Pay attention to that. These are things that are in our culture that are true. So again, feeling that water at my feet, that next element, air, you feel the wind blowing through you as you're grounded in the earth, as you're feeling the water touch your toes and you're feeling the wind and the air surround you. Then fire, you could build fire up inside with yoga breathing, breath work. I always forget the name for it and I don't want to say it wrong, but it's like the Ainahuji breath, or it's something along those lines, but it's how we did earlier. You inhale for 7 breaths, you hold for 5 breaths, you let out for 7. You could do that at any increment you want. Even if you want 3 seconds in, hold for 1 second, 3 seconds out. You do that, but instead of once you inhale and you hold, you then restrict your throat and you close your mouth and you exhale out your nose. So you inhale. So I'm gonna just do it for 3 seconds as an example. So inhale for 1, 2, 3, hold, then let out, exhale through your nose with your mouth closed. You can feel the heat building up in your throat, in your body. That is a way that you can form fire. They call it the fire breath. Look it up, guys. This is real stuff. So I like to do those things while I'm at the beach, grounded in the sand and earth, feeling the water at my toes, feeling the air around me, and building a fire breath within and making me the fifth element, the ultimate element. Guys, this is some real stuff. Look into it. I'm telling you, it is going to be beneficial in you elevating to your highest self. Stop thinking what you have to do is only what society is telling you have to do. There's so much research, there's so much knowledge on these different techniques and methods in the metaphysical world that is really going to help you become your best self. But you have to believe it. And you have to not be afraid of what you read and what you learn and what you even feel during that process. You also have to let go of the peer pressure or being made fun of by the individuals that you love and care about, because they're not yet educated. They're not yet elevated. They have not reached their highest frequency, because they're still conformed to what society tells them that they have to do, but they're still kind of going through the same bullshit over and over and over and can't figure out why they can't separate themselves from that. And the last option on the metaphysical methods is going to be aromatherapy. Guys, I always have an diffuser going. Tea tree, peppermint, lavender, orange, you name it. It's circulating. Aromatherapy is good. When I go get my professional massages, when they say aromatherapy, yes, please. When your head's in that the head holster, and I love when like my massage therapist, like you can hear her like putting the oil in her hands, and then she puts her hand under that head holster, so that small hole that your face is through, you just smell the aromatherapy. It literally relaxes you and puts you in preparation to get a massage. Because why? It's aromatherapy. It's supposed to help you relax. It's supposed to help you remain calm, to be at peace. Because when you're in those state of minds, you have a gateway to your creativity, a gateway to what's right, and when I say what's right, what's going to do right in the world, what's going to really help people, what's going to improve society, what's going to build a better economy. That's what I mean by what's right, and not just saying that's right and that's wrong. So I just want to differentiate that. Aromatherapy. So even if you don't use essential oils in the diffuser, incense, that is my go-to. I love the brand. Shout out to Soulful Vibes and Queen of Cultivation. That is who I get my incense through. I literally buy incense based off of what I'm wanting to manifest and what I'm wanting to be intentional with. So I have goddess incense, I have African gods incense, I have moon incense that I like to use during my full moon and my new moon rituals. I have business incense that I will light when I'm in the process of building a business plan or working on a business idea. We have meditation ones that I like when I'm meditating. We have ones for positive energy. If I feel like the energy's off in the house, if I feel like I just got off a call that was irritating, if I just got off a call with if I talk to a family member about something that wasn't the best subject, I will light a positive energy incense. Why? Because it works. All right, guys. So to recap for today, short and sweet, episode 3, season 3 of Transcend with NNG podcast. We're shifting your mind to develop new routines in order for you to become your best self. We were talking about the second 8 frequency of elevation, which is metaphysical methods. And if you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to respond to this episode. If you do not want to put your information out there publicly, you can email us at info@nngconsulting.org. That's N as in new, N as in nation, G as in goddess, consulting.org. I'll put the information in the description of the bio. Be sure to like our podcast, share our podcast, subscribe to it. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well to keep up with the latest news, events, and resources. Want to give a big shout out to JJ Cicero for the banging intro. Love, love, love. But if there's not anything else, guys, I want to send gratitude for you tuning in today on this beautiful Wealth and Wellness Wednesday. All right, guys, and manifesting a positive, productive, and peaceful remainder of the day and remainder of the week for you. We'll be talking to you next Wednesday. Peace.